Hi students, today we're looking at the lesson Properties of Transformations, and your learning target is I can find the properties of transformations. I want to emphasize to you that this is an optional video. If you do not want to watch this video, if you'd rather work ahead on your own, you'll need to complete pages 95 to 96 on your own. Let me type that in for you so you know. Because these are the pages that we're going over on this video. So if you don't want to watch the video and you'd rather just work ahead, go ahead and complete pages 95 to 96 on your own. That's fine by me. If you do want to watch the video, we are going to go through it, just go through the pages together. All right, so definitions that you need to know. For example, if we have the point right here and we label this point A, this is the original, this is the pre-image, and then if we move this point over here, this now becomes A, or what we say is A prime. And this dash up here, it's not an apostrophe. It is just this symbol means prime, and I put it right here. A prime is read as A prime, so that you remember. And this just shows you which one is the original and which one is the new. Okay, and you don't write that on your, you don't really need to worry about that too much unless you're drawing transformations. Okay, so we're going to fill this part in just a little bit, but here is Explore 1 that's on your book on page 95. And if you have your book, go ahead and follow along with me. You can write this in your book. You don't need to print the notes. So number 1, Explore, question A. You should be completing A through C on your own because it involves cutting out and drawing and cutting out stuff. But there are a few of you who don't have your book right now, so I'm going to tell you what A through C say. You can fast forward the video and move on if you don't need this information. So A says, trace the rectangle and triangle on a piece of paper and then cut out your traced figures. If you don't have your book, I put the coordinates for the rectangle and the triangle right here. So you can graph these coordinates and form a rectangle, graph these coordinates and form a triangle, and then cut them out and use them either on this graph on the paper or on your own graph at home. Okay, so graph these 4 coordinates to form a rectangle, and then graph these 3 coordinates to form a triangle, and then cut out your shapes that you make. Then place your, what you're going to do is you're going to place this rectangle back onto the graph where you started. So let's say I'm starting it right here, and this is my pre-image, or I'm sorry, this is my image. Those words confuse me. Here's my no, I was right. This is my pre-image. I'm going to place it on here, and then the book asks you to slide. Let me read it for you. It says, then translate the rectangle by sliding your copy 6 units to the right and 1 unit down. Okay, so we're going to slide it over. It's kind of like finding slopes. 6 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units to the right, and 1 unit down. So the point that I started from right here, that I started counting from, is going to end up right here. So I need to move this point 6 units to the right, right here. It'll still go over, still go down, and still go over. So here's my slide. I moved it 6 to the right and 1 unit down. Okay, and all of them are going to be like that. If I count here, this is going to be 6 to the right, 1 unit down, 6 to the right, 1 unit down. Okay, so all the coordinates are going to match that. Then it's asking you, let me make sure I didn't skip a step. Okay, then it's asking you to do the same exact thing with the triangle. So if you need the triangle coordinates, those are right here. You're going to draw the triangle, which is just a right triangle. Oops, sorry. And it looks something like this. And it's asking you to move this one 5 units to the left and 2 units up. I drew this too close to the other side, but you'll be moving it 5 units to the left and then 1 unit up, just like when you're finding slope. Okay, If that's confusing to you, don't worry about it too much. Really, for this activity, you can have your image and your pre-image anywhere you want on the page. So this is when you'll need your ruler. You need graph paper, scissors, ruler, and your book. So get your ruler out and go ahead, let me change colors here. And go ahead and measure the length from A to D. And I'm not 100% sure that this is A and D. Let me double check. Nope, I was wrong. Hold on, let me undo that. You need to measure from A to D, which is this one, and then A prime to D prime, which is this new on your new image right here. And then it's asking you to measure for the triangle PR, which is the hypotenuse right here, PR, and then your new hypotenuse, which isn't on my document, but that's okay. Measure your new hypotenuse and measure your left side of the square and your other left side of the square. And what do you notice about those measurements? What do you notice about the two rectangle measurements, and what do you notice about the two triangle measurements? If you measured them correctly, you should find that they are the exact same. So I'm going to type that in because my writing is not awesome on here. They are, you can say equivalent, or they are the same. Okay, so you'll have those, something like that written down for that answer. And then now they want you to use, oh, I'm sorry, you actually do need your protractor. And it's asking you to measure angle C and measure angle R. And then it's asking you to measure C prime and R prime. So let me show you which ones those are in case you're confused. C is this, this piece of the rectangle right here, this side. Let me draw it. This is angle C. Measure angle C. You probably don't even need to measure that if you know what a right angle is. And then it's asking you to measure angle R, which is the top section of this triangle right here, this angle. So measure angle C, which you don't need to do because you know what a right angle measures to, and then measure angle R and see what you get. And then notice C prime right here, this angle, and then R prime, which I didn't draw, but you would be able to do on your paper. What is R prime and what is C prime? What do you notice about them? Did they change at all? Hopefully they didn't. They should be the exact same. So again, you're going to be able to write they are equivalent or they are the same. They are the same. All right. And then this letter F is asking you to count the parallel lines in the rectangle ABCD. So here's ABCD. And let me draw my parallel lines for you. I'm going to use yellow. So here's one parallel line. Here's another parallel line. So that's one set. I'm going to put a dash there. And then here's one parallel line, and here's one parallel line. So that's two sets. So I'm going to put another dash. And then it's asking you to measure the parallel lines in A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. And what do you notice? So that all those A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, all that means is this new rectangle. So how many are in this new rectangle? This one I'll do in orange. So there's one set here. That's one. And there's one set here. That's two. They have the exact same number of parallel lines, 2 and 2. That's not an 11, by the way. So what do you notice? You can write it in. They have the exact same number of parallel lines or something like that. All right. Then you are finished with Explore number 1, except for this practice part right here that says, that says you need to complete question 1A. And if you don't have your book, question 1A says, use your results from D, E, and F, up here, D, E, and F, to write a conjecture about translations. A conjecture is like a statement that's true, or a guess, or a hypothesis, something like that. So what do you notice about the image, the pre-image, and the image? And what do you notice about those? Did anything change? Did anything become different? Write a conjecture about those translations. Okay, then number 2, steps A through C, you can go ahead and complete on your own. If you completed this with me, you probably can complete this perfectly fine on your own now. But number 2 is using the same coordinates for the rectangle and the triangle. And 2A says to trace it and then cut out your trace figures, which we did. And then place your copy of the rectangle on top. It's the same exact stuff that we just did. If you're using your book, you'll notice that the coordinates are different. But if you're not using your book, you can just use these same coordinates and the same shapes that you used for the original example 1 up top, because it's a little hard without your book. So number 2D says to measure BC and PR. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important part. They asked you to mirror the image across the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. Picture that you're folding this section of the coordinate plane onto this section of the coordinate plane. You're going to fold it, and this is going to be your crease. So where would this square right here, where would this be on this side? Well, it looks like it would be right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I were to fold this right here, it would make a stamp, kind of like right here on the other side of the x-axis. Okay, and it's asking you to measure BC and PR. First, let's measure BC. Remember, this is A, and this is B, and this is C. So we're going to measure this one now, right here. Let me get a new color because that's not showing up anymore. It's asking us to measure this one, BC, and BC is right here also. What do you notice about those measurements? What can you tell me about those measurements? BC and B prime, C prime. What do you notice? Write it down on your letter D. Then use a protractor to measure angle D and angle P. Then measure angle D prime and angle P prime. Well, I also forgot you were supposed to draw the triangle. Let's say you drew the triangle here, then you need to reflect it and draw the new triangle here. If you're not using your book, just do the measure of angle D. Okay, so measure of angle D. This is angle D right here. Here's angle D right here. Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This is the measure of angle D. Sorry, this one. All shaded in green for you. What do you notice about those two angles? What do you notice? Are they the same? Are they different? Did they change after you reflected it? Yes or no? If not, or if so, write what you notice. What do you notice about those lines or those angles? And then lastly, the same thing, count the pair of parallel lines and tell me what you notice about A, B, C, D, and A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime when you reflect it. Because this first one was about translations, and this one is a reflection. Okay, and just remember again, a translation is another word for slide. I just like slide better. Okay, and then for your practice at home, you're going to be completing 2A and 2B at home. And 2A, in case you don't have it, I will type it in for you right here. 2A says, let me type it right now. Okay, so if you don't have your book, I've included 2A and 2B right here on the side. You can just go ahead and complete this on the back of these notes or on a separate piece of paper. It's up to you. And then tomorrow, go ahead and bring in your colored pencils if you have any, and or your markers. We're going to be coloring in a lot of paper, so you might not want to bring markers because they might bleed through. But colored pencils or crayons or something like that would be awesome. And I will see all of you very soon.